Welcome to Plays and Parlays. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, the Guru, LT, Man, and Mike Pease. We're going to talk a little bit of sports this week for y'all with the NFL preseason underway and some major boxing news that just happened. How you guys doing tonight?
Bless.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bless,
It sounds
man.
like you
Ready
guys
to
are. That's what I'm talking about, man. So it's a lot of sports going on. We just watched Paige Buckner put up 44 in the WNBA. That's huge to me. I haven't seen too many players put up 44. You know what I'm saying? In the WNBA, I think she was like 17 for 21.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
4 for 4 from three. It's pretty. To me, right now they're kind of dubbing her as bigger even than, I won't say it, than Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark has the gravitas, but Paige is out there actually putting the work in. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, I don't think that there's going to be, she might end up being one of the bigger faces of the league, the way it's going right now. I don't know if she'll have the star power of a Caitlin Clark, but she's balling right now. What do you guys think about just the whole what's going on in the WNBA? Just quickly, guys. I know we got to get to the real meat of the show.
I know the hood loves Paige. On God.
What about you, LT? What do you think about this Paige Buckner phenomenon?
I like Paige, to be honest with you, man. I mean, watching her in college, watching her now, her transition to the game was faster. I think that a lot of people were predicting it would be, with the speed, kind of the I won't say the hustle game, but the roughness of the WNBA. She's fine with it. She's not really getting hurt, but she has to do those things right now, right? Because the team that she's playing for. I mean, if you're looking at a Caitlin Clark or some of these other players that have the big names, they have big names that can help them, right? Paige doesn't have a lot of that. She has a couple, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't have 4, 5, 6 players that can come on there and help her out at any point. I do like her. I think she's going to be a huge face as far as for the WNBA. I think she's going to be a star. She already is. She's only going to get better too, and that's the scary part. So yeah, I think she's going to be a big time face of the league.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's hop right in, man, and talk about something that's I think everyone wants to talk about right now, which is the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis is the freak show that boxing deserves. Wednesday's announcement that Jake Paul's next dance partner would be Gervonta Tank Davis spawned a reaction outside the typical boxing bubble. The one where your friend who typically isn't a boxing fan sends you a screenshot of a fight poster accompanied by a few exciting emojis asking you to explain the 5 W's of journalism: who, what, when, where, and most importantly, why. Jake Paul, who's 12-1 with 7 KOs, a YouTuber turned cruiserweight and founder of Most Valuable Promotions, who at his career's heaviest weight as 227, and current WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis, who's 30-1 with 28 KOs, who's made the 135-pound weight limit in his last 6 contests, guys. What do you guys think of this match? We're going to start with you, LT, and kind of get your take on what do you think this match means for boxing. It's an exhibition, so it's not like a real deal match, but what do you think it means for boxing? Do you think it's a freak show, or do you think it's a real contest?
Look, I think it's still a freak show. I'll start off there. Okay. Jake Paul, I'm kind of tired of him, to be honest with you. It's bad for the sport of boxing, in my opinion. The reasoning is because of the huge weight difference. You have a guy that's now ranked, according to some sites, in the top 15 of his weight division as far as Jake Paul, which is already crazy in my opinion, because he's never fought anybody really in that division. He only fights people that are 100 pounds less or 100 years older. So it's crazy to me that people put him into the kind of that bubble as far as, oh man, he's such a big draw. He's a big draw because people want to watch him get knocked out, right? That's the thing.
He fought.
Is Tank gonna do that? No.
Chavez, to his credit, Chavez Jr., he fought him to his credit. You know what I mean? Chavez Jr. is the only legitimate boxer that I can count on, that he fought.
Chavez looked like he wasn't throwing nothing.
Chavez has been
not at all. Not at all.
Special.
And when he started throwing punches, he was getting them, hitting them. But it was probably like the last 2 rounds.
It's the same thing with Tyson. Tyson's 100 years old and doesn't have. He still looked. There was points in that fight where you could see him stop when he was coming across with a hook, and I was just like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what am I watching?
He was thinking about that 20 million.
Exactly. It's become more of a joke at this point, to be honest with you. And I think it's a joke that he's even ranked. If I'm being honest, I'm really tired of it.
I didn't even know that he's ranked.
They said that the only reason they did that is so he could probably get a title shot. So they're trying to get this dude a title shot. They really are. And it's sad to say that. He's going to get destroyed.
Would you give him a title shot though? Like the cruiserweight division. I don't know who's even there right now. I mean, that's not even like Bivol or any of those guys right there. They're not in that crew. The cruiserweight division is kind of like one of those weight classes. I think the last great cruiserweight that I can think of. I'm not sure if Usyk, I think his name's Usyk. I think he might have been at some point in time in the cruiserweight division. But the last one that I can really think of was Evander Holyfield. That was like the last. I mean, before he jumped up to heavyweight, he was the last guy who anyone talked about at that weight class. It's just one of those kind of weird weight classes that no one cares about. If you can get a name like a Jake Paul to come into boxing and get a belt, do you know what that's gonna do for boxing in general? It'll be huge. Don't get me wrong.
It'll ruin it.
I mean, just as far as he'll get knocked out. Let's just be real. He's gonna get beat up and knocked out.
You're gonna have to make it credible, right? That's the thing I'm talking about here. You have to make him credible in general. Who has he fought? Let's be very honest, okay? He has fought MMA fighters. Okay, number one, guys that are either grapplers for the most part or guys that are supposedly great at stand-up, but if you put them in the boxing world, that's a totally different thing. Then it becomes more about the footwork. It becomes more about the jabs, things of that nature. If you're talking about MMA boxing, it's very, very different. You have wider stances. The footwork doesn't matter as much because you're talking about kicks, checking, all this other crap, right? Whenever you're talking about Jake Paul in a boxing ring, okay, he's good. I'm not saying he's not good at boxing. He's obviously good. He's been training for years. Okay. He's going to be good or better than your average boxer. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Better than one of us got in the ring somewhere and winning box right now. Is he going to be as good as like a real ranked boxer? They're going to be, I mean, they put him up against, okay, say he's ranked 15th, right? If they put him up against whoever's ranked 14th, he's beating him. Not Jake Paul. He's going to lose. Jake Paul's going to lose it. I'm going to be clear. He's going to lose.
Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury.
I'm about to say, put him against
Tommy
rank 30.
Fury.
Hey, man, what is your take on this right here as well? Let's just, to kind of go around the horn a little bit, but feel free to jump in whenever you can.
We talking about money. We talking about money. That's all it is. It's just like what does Tank have to gain fighting stars for, like he can fight superstars for less money, and it's good for legacy, but who cares about legacy other than everyone? Like we care about legacy. He's the one that has to wake up tomorrow after a fight and he has to walk and bleed.
Because he got 100 acre. What do you buy? The 11,000 or whatever. He bought that piece of land right there, man. It's definitely about the reward to him. It's not about the awards. It's about the reward. You know what I mean?
We're going to talk about his legacy. We're going to talk about his legacy, but he's going to be the one waking up like he pees blood and he's got to go to the hospital for a couple days. Like
Tank right now?
Yeah, Tank. He's going to be the one that has to wake up just in pain for his legacy when he could just make a bunch of money and then walk away,
Let me give some context to what Man is talking about right now. I had a conversation with me and my brother a little earlier, just talking about just legacy in general. To me, I think that it's going to harm Tank's legacy because of the point he is in his career. He needs to fight all the top fighters now, in my personal opinion, because he just does not have that his legacy's not there. He has not cemented who he is in boxing just yet. I understand the money. If the money comes, I'm gonna go get the money. There's a big bag waiting right now. I'll probably take the bag too, but this will also kind of prevent him from taking some of those fights that he's gonna need to take right now in his career to get to where he's going. My brother said, you know what? Let's get the money. The money's more important. And it is. It's boxing. Because like Man said, you're one who's going to have to walk around battered, bruised, and scarred, for the rest of your career, can barely talk properly, because of boxing without the money. Look at the certain guys like, Evander Holyfield, filed bankruptcy, things of that nature. Those guys went broke because it happens in sports. You get all that money, you spend a lot of money. Things happen. But go ahead, though. You guys can finish the point.
Yeah, Mike. Go ahead.
Mike, go ahead, man.
Shit, man, my opinion on it, man. Honestly, it's a joke to me. You know what I'm saying? It really is a joke to me. Tank hard, man. Tank hard, and I don't feel like he like how Wes was saying, like he got like mad hate. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. He probably has had a lot of hate, but I don't see it to the extent to where it's at until he fought with Roach, and that's really well deserved. Bro play like shit for real. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing nothing. Roach should have won that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Roach really the reason why he even taking this fight in the first place, because nobody really rocking with Tank right now. You know what I'm saying? But if I was Tank, like I'd have looked at like, bro, I'm Tank. You know what I mean? Like, what do I need? Yeah, it's money. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, but Tank got bread. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Money ain't no such thing as not enough bread. You know what I mean? You're gonna still try to get your money, but
150, 200.
but Jay in the
That's
boxing
five
world,
fights.
in the boxing world, Jake Paul is a joke. You know what I'm saying? He really is a joke. So I mean, if you really respected the game of boxing as a real boxer, you know what I'm saying?
Let
I
me
wouldn't
ask you
have
this.
took it if I was Tank.
Let me ask you this question, though, Mike. Do you think any other boxer would take that fight right now? Any other boxer you ask, you can go across the board. Any of them, except for, I mean, possibly Canelo, because I think he came up to Canelo and asked Canelo about the fight. Canelo got big money. Tank ain't got Canelo money yet. He ain't fought. This is just for his first big contract. Is right now. He's just got his first big contract. And I think at the end of the day, they're probably pushing on him a little bit. Like, hey, remember how they did to when Mayweather got his first big contract? He got big paydays when he fought De La Hoya and the rest of those guys during that time. He had big paydays, but after the I can't remember the guy's name he fought. I can't remember, but basically he punched him after they shook hands, they kind of hugged and stuff, and he knocked him out. And then after that, he got his Showtime deal. It was like a 6-fight deal for like, he was getting $30 million something guaranteed per fight. It was the biggest deal in boxing, one of the biggest deals in boxing at the time. So this is Tank's first big deal. I don't think he did numbers with any of the fights except for probably Ryan Garcia was probably the only fight where he did numbers with. They're probably like, hey, bro, the investment, man, is not being paid off. That's why they pushed Mayweather to fight Pacquiao when he did. And that's why he fought him to the second to the last fight of his contract was with Pacquiao, because his numbers weren't that great. I mean, they did good with Canelo, but they didn't do very well with Maidana. They didn't do very well with I think he fought this guy named the Ghost. I can't remember. That was his first fight. The numbers weren't there to kind of make up for the money that they're spending on you. So he might be being pushed into taking this fight because, hey, you gotta pay the bank back no matter what.
I mean, that's understandable. That's understandable. And even with the question that you asked, like what fighters would take, honestly, truth be told, I think any fighter would take it, but I would look at it more so like a real boxer, especially like Tank, I'd do it not for the bread, but to shut him down for real. Like Jake Paul think he one of the greatest right now for no reason though. You ain't fought nobody that's credible. You fought some greats, but greats that been past their prime. They ain't doing nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I was a fighter right now and I'm up like that, I would have been fighting him not for the pay, but just to lay him down. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be my only reason to do that.
So this is a genius move by Tank.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. Okay, I think this is a no-win situation for Jake, which is stupidity written all over it by him. You're facing a guy, 100 pounds lighter than you. I mean, let's be honest. I understand it's about the bread, right? I get that portion of it. But if you're trying to tell everybody you're trying to be a legitimate contender and you want to go after titles and all this BS that he keeps, chirping about, he's full of you know what, man. He's full of gas, right? Let's call it what it is. All you're doing is going after basically legacy guys who are big names, which is fantastic. I think that's great for the money stuff. But you can't say the same stuff when you're talking about, oh, I want to be a contender. I want to go fight for the title. I want to. If you're doing that, you're fighting guys in that division. You're fighting contenders in that division. You're not fighting the champion 15 weight classes down. That doesn't make any sense on anybody's board. It's a no-win situation for him, because now if he wins, what then, right? Okay, you beat a guy that you're supposed to beat, right? It's a stupidity scenario for him. Now if you're Tank, on the other hand, right, it's genius, because now your name is still talked about at this point, because right now there's a huge fight out there right now, right? The other names, right, that everybody's talking about right now, and there's Yep, and there's a female fight coming out that everybody's talking about too that's being made apparently. So there's a couple of big fights that are coming, right? What's the name that can keep you there?
Why do you think that should matter to Tank though? Because if anytime Tank comes out with a fight he's Tank. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
I
still
get
gonna make the
that.
noise. You know what I'm
I
saying? So
understand what you're saying, but it's a winning scenario for him because everybody, it's kind of alluding to what you said earlier. And I like the point that you made about Roach fight, right? Because he lost that fight. Let's be very honest. I thought he lost the fight, in my opinion. Okay. What's a way that you can get everybody to forget about that and start talking to you again, right? It's not taking that same fighter again that's dangerous to you and your style. It's taking a fighter that you know, hey, look, I have a chance to beat this guy. I don't think he would have taken this fight if he thought there was any chance, and you know what, that he's going to get knocked out. Okay, I don't see him getting knocked out. I actually see this being a bad fight for Jake, to be honest with you. The Tank's footwork, his defense, the way he holds his gloves to the body, he's a very different style fighter than Jake has ever fought, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to go well for him. He's going to get touched up. He's going to get pieced up. It's going to be bad.
I kind of, it's going to be hard. Tank is what, 70 pounds, maybe. If you're looking at 227 as heaviest weight, and Tank comes in and he's fought at 135, you're damn near 100 pounds before you came in 100 pounds. But it's very difficult for somebody 5'4", and Jake's whatever height he is, not, or no, sure, he's over 6 foot, 227 pounds versus one. It's gonna be hard for him to knock him out, in my personal opinion. It's gonna be, unless it's just like he's hurting him to the point to where he wears him down, But I think this is a very dangerous fight for both of them, really. I mean, it's very dangerous for Jake Paul because of his legacy. Not legacy as far as
if he loses, he's done. You can't lose to somebody 100 pounds. I'm sorry, you cannot lose to somebody 70 pounds lighter.
I think it's going to end in a draw, but I think what
that's
Jake Paul,
more realistic.
Yeah, I think Jake Paul, what he's going to try to do a lot is because Tank's a slow starter. I think Jake Paul is going to try to be very up on those, and then it looks like, oh, he won the first 2-3 rounds because he was so active. And Tank's probably going to be playing with him, and then it's just going to look even on the score. But, it's just he's just not going to knock him out. I don't think so.
I think he's going to out-volume him in the later rounds, man. Jake has a tendency, if you go back, even his fights recently against old wash fighters, he starts losing his technique in round 3. He starts kind of really bobbling around the ring. His footwork is off by round 5. If he doesn't fix the cardio situation, he's gonna get pieced up late, and it's gonna be, I'm telling you, once Tank gets in the groove and he starts really throwing those bombs that he throws to the body, that's night.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but Tank could knock him out for sure. Don't get me wrong, he is small, but I'm pretty sure everybody in this little chat room right now has seen somebody smaller knock out somebody 6'4". You know what I'm saying? Like, it's happened plenty of times. So it's not rare. It's not uncommon. It happens. You know what I'm saying?
It has.
He opens up a lot in the later rounds. Like I said, Jake gets touched up once it gets past round 4. If you go back to his Tyson fight, if you go back to any fight, really, he starts getting touched a lot. And if you put the pressure on him, he really starts to open that mouth, right? That mouth's wide open, the chin's up. The gloves come down. That's bad.
He throws those little.
He throws the looping shots.
And that whole
leaves his chin open. But I mean, he can smother a lot of Tank shots, though, really, for how big he is. I mean, he can kind of over him, just lean on Tank a lot too, and tire Tank down the exact same way too, grabbing, holding. I mean, a lot of that can be happening. We saw it happen in some of his previous fights. I mean, this is, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, this is a money fight for both of them. So hopefully they actually go in there and fight, and it's not a joke. But I think right now, it was the best move for Tank at this time because of the money. No matter what, boxing is a sport where it's finicky. He could have gotten knocked out last fight, Tank, and then we'd be looking at him way differently right now. Everybody,
without the money thing, you don't think that looked bad to almost lose a fight and then you decide to take a fight with Jake Paul instead of trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, to me,
that's goofy to me.
It shields you to a degree because you're taking a bigger fight. Because if I fight you again, Lamont Roach, I'm the draw. The reason no one even cares who you are. So so no matter what, I have to bring all the people to come watch the fight. Lamont Roach can go fight anybody he wants right now, and nobody's gonna go watch it. No one of us gonna care, nothing. So all the money that's bringing to this fight is being brought by Tank. So instead of that happening, I know this dude's probably gonna bring 60-70% of the bread this time. I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to bring my 40-50%. The people will come see about me because I'm Tank, but he's bigger than me. Jake Paul's bigger than Tank, period. He gets paid more than Tank does because he owns his own promotions company. His fights are bigger than his are. I mean, let's just be real. And that's kind of what that boils down to. Like, don't get me wrong, fight Lamont Roach later. I might, but the thing about boxing is it's it's about the money, man. Yes, it's great. It's about legacy too. Don't get me wrong. I'm a legacy boxer. I love that too. But I want these dudes to walk away with a bag at the end of the day. Because most of them walk away and they're broke and they're hurt. You know what I mean? And you've taken all that punishment. And we don't really realize that's the worst CTE sport there is. That's worse than football. Imagine getting hit in the head this is what's happening. The whole training, everything you do all the time is all about getting punched in the head. Football, maybe. You might get hit in the head a couple of times. You might ram your head up against some, but you got a helmet on. These people are literally fighting people all day long. People punching you in the head. Imagine that. Right?
They're professionals at punching you in the head too. Yep. They're the best people to punch you in the head in the world.
So I mean, it's not that I'm all for this fight, because I do believe in the legacy side of boxing. I think it's going to end up harming him in the long run if he's not good with his. I pray he's great with his money, because in the long run, people are going to look at him like you're not going to be able to do a lot of commentating. People are going to look for you like they'll look for like a Sugar Ray during his time, or like a George Foreman during their time, or a Evander Holyfield, or even like a Lennox Lewis. They're not going to come to you for that, because you're not going to have the actual numbers and the legacy to be able to demand that. However, if you get the money and you good, it don't really matter at the end of the day. But let me switch over to another one here, you guys. We want to talk about, the super fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford coming up in Las Vegas at Alliant Field Stadium on September 13th on Netflix. What do you guys think about this? This is the real super fight to me. I know we had just talked about Tank and Jake Paul, but this fight right here actually has credibility, and it's going to be a big fight. But at the same time, it is again a fighter who I think he might have fought at 152, 154 his last fight. I think Bud did in his last fight with who did he just fight? I can't remember. Whoever he fought last, I know he fought at I think he fought at 152 or 154, I believe. But in this next fight, he's going to be fighting at like 168, I believe. And so, I mean, what do you guys think about? They're fighting at super middleweight. So what do you guys think about this fight right here? Do you guys think that Canelo will be too big, too much for Bud? Or do you guys believe that Bud will be able to overcome that weight, that weight deficiency and make it happen? What do you guys think about this fight? We'll start with you, man.
Yeah, I think man, Canelo, I get nervous thinking about this fight, because I love Bud. After he did my boy Spence like that, I was like, okay, yeah, he's the truth. But coming up in weight, because Canelo had to do that same type of humbling when he came up in weight and had to fight one bigger dude. And
Bivol.
It's too much. I think it might be too much for him. I'm gonna still bet on Bud, but I think I don't think it's gonna be a wash though, but I think he's still a little bit of a weight bully himself. I think he could make that weight easily, and I think he could do all that. But it might be too much. Canelo might be too seasoned for him right now.
LT.
Canelo is a very tough nut to crack. All right, it's hard to hit him. He doesn't get touched up much. You know what? I've had a chance to look at some highlights on both recently. The stylistic part of the matchup goes to Canelo. The power, I think, goes to Canelo. I don't see a lot of success leaning towards Bud the more and more I think about this. Right? I know it's a super fight, and I get it. It's two very big names, but I don't think it's going to be as close as everybody's thinking it is.
Oh, you think it's a wash?
What's that?
You think it's a wash?
I think it's. He'll keep it tight a little bit. I just don't think Canelo is not going to take any crazy chances. He hasn't done that for a while, to where he's going to open himself up, and that's when people really kind of get hit by Bud, right? Whenever they kind of make that pivotal mistake or a bunch of pivotal mistakes against him. Canelo's not that style fighter, man. I don't think he's going to take any unnecessary risk. He's going to point him, and I think that's what it's going to end up being. It's going to end up being one of those classic Canelo, kind of like a Mayweather style fight, if I'm being honest. Just pick him apart, stay out, pick him apart again. And go back in. He's going to go in, go out, go in, go out. That's it.
I'm Mike, what are you thinking, man? What's your take on this?
I think this fight should have been happened a minute ago. I've been waiting for this fight for a couple of years now, you know what I'm saying? And it could be delusion with me, favoritism, whatever you want to call it. Bud is a dog to me, man. I don't think it's gonna go out the way like LT's like saying it in a certain sense. I do a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Canelo's IQ is up there, you know what I mean? But Bud is still Bud, you know what I'm saying? His aggression towards the game, just even that man loves fighting. It ain't even about nothing else. That man just love putting hands on people. You know what I'm saying? That's his passion. He been doing that since he was a child. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not gonna say he gonna sit here and just whoop Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a good fight though, and I feel like Bud he gonna put something on him. You know what I'm saying? He gonna surprise Canelo as much as Canelo gonna surprise other people putting something on Bud. In my opinion, I felt like Canelo was even a little bit nervous trying to fight Bud for a minute. This fight should have been happened. This
Yeah,
fight
for
should have
sure.
happened a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
100%.
Canelo was low key ducking in a certain sense.
I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate from both sides a little bit. Canelo's just a way bigger fighter than Bud, and that's why I think that the fight didn't happen before, because Canelo was all the way up to 175 at one point. I think he fought Bivol at 175. I mean, and you gotta look at Bud. I would say probably like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe came up to 147. You know, and I think that's when he came. If he was 140 for a long time, so that's just a huge weight difference between the two fighters. I think that's probably why the fight didn't happen. It's like at this point in time, it's pretty much with Canelo. Who else am I gonna fight? Who else can I fight? I'm not fighting Bivol again. He whooped on me like the Thriller in Manila. I'm not going to fight him again. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what other super fight do I have? And this is one that they can make, and it's something that he can handle. But I hope that we haven't seen him fighting up is very difficult to do, especially when you haven't had any warm-ups. He just came straight in. He hasn't tasted any of that power. Maybe in training camp, yeah, but it's not the same as fighting an elite fighter like a Canelo Alvarez. It's very difficult. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that Canelo is one of the best technical fighters out there. He loves the sport, and he's a bruiser. He's a tank. You know what I mean? Pretty much not to say it any other kind of way, but he's like a tank as far as his body style is set up. You know what I mean? And so it's gonna be hard for Bud. And Bud's kind of a looser fighter. He's not like he's the most technically sound boxer that there is out there, but he's a tough fighter. He's a solid fighter. But I do believe that he'll give Canelo a run for his money. I believe he could, if he can take the punches, if he can take the power. I think the first few rounds will show us what's going to happen. If he's in there and the power is not affecting him, because Canelo punches. We've watched other fighters here recently. Canelo ain't knocked out nobody recently. Who has he knocked out recently? You tell me. I mean, these fighters, these are not like they run, man. So what? Corner them off and get it done. Tyson used to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Who have you even hurt recently? I haven't seen it happen. Haven't seen a lot of fighters hurt Canelo either, though. But at the same time, it can happen. Canelo's not the same Canelo as we've seen before. He's not that young anymore, but neither is Bud. Bud's older too. But Bud's probably faced a lot less punishment than what Canelo's faced. Canelo's fought Triple G, 3 times, 4 times? You know what I mean? He's fought some big fighters who he's had to take some punches. So, I mean, I think this might be just if he catches Canelo on the decline, and if he catches Canelo slipping as far as just thinking that, this guy is too small, I can just bully him around. And Bud, I don't think he's getting bullied by anybody. Period. I've seen Gamboa. I think they were fighting at 130 or 135, and Gamboa hurt Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? Gamboa's a little dude, and so it wasn't like a major hurt where he's stumbling around the ring, but he caught him. And so anybody can be caught. But at the end of the day, man, playing devil's advocate, I would hope to see Bud win, but it's a tough one. It's a tough fight, man. Definitely a tough one.
This is a legacy fight. This is 100% a legacy fight. Like,
Agreed.
Absolutely.
This gonna be, it don't hurt, and this don't hurt neither one of their legacies too. It's really super safe because I don't think it hurts either one of them. They fighting the best of the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh, you don't think it would hurt Canelo's legacy to lose to Bud Crawford, a fighter who's just came from I think he came from like 54. I think he might have came from 54.
I mean, it would hurt more than if Bud lost, but I don't think it would hurt Canelo. Canelo's fighting. This is a monster. Like, Bud is a monster in himself. I think these are two, not like if one person has to lose more, Canelo does have to lose more. But it's not nobody at his weight class is going to be like, oh, you're weak, you lost to Bud. No, everybody else in that weight class could not rock with him.
Do you think Bud could beat Benavidez? I don't. Me personally, I don't. Benavidez is too big. Benavidez is a monster.
That's a big motherfucker.
And so to say if he loses, if you're 168 and you lose to Bud Crawford, that's a problem. You're huge compared to him, but you wouldn't fight Benavidez, which I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong, Crawford's a beast. He'll get down, but I mean, 168 weight class is that's 2 weight classes above where he's fighting from. He only fought at 154, I think, one time. Once. So you basically came up from 47 and then jumped up 3 weight classes to have. Not to say this, I mean, but it just. I think that if Canelo loses to basically Bud's a 147. That's who he really is. He fought at 154 one fight, I think. And so you lose to a 147.
Bud has to make it ugly.
Yep.
He has to make this fight ugly, if I'm being honest. He's got to make
this
fight.
He has to hurt him.
Ugly.
I look at it like it's possible though. You know what I'm saying? Like that weight gain.
It is. It's very possible.
Depending on how he handled the weight gain and all that, but that would make him stronger, more powerful, and all of that in the same sense with all that extra weight on him. So I mean, it's just really up to him on how he handles it and if he does it the right way. If he handles it the right way, I feel like he could do something for sure.
Fair.
I mean, I'm hoping so, man. Let's keep our fingers crossed for Bud, man, because I do think it could be a great fight between the two of them, man. But let's go ahead and hop off into the NFL preseason. I know we've all been waiting on this. I know we've talked about this team, the Colts. You know what I mean? I know everybody on here has kind of had a little bit of trash to say about the Colts. We all kind of hope for them to find a better quarterback, but they came up with Daniel Jones. Colts named Daniel Jones starting QB over Anthony Richardson for week 1. The Colts quarterback battle has produced a winner and the new starter in Indianapolis. The Colts announced Tuesday that Daniel Jones is their starting quarterback for the 2025 regular season. Indianapolis opens the season against Miami Dolphins on September 7th. Jones earned the job over incumbent starter Anthony Richardson, the 2023 NFL Draft's 4th overall pick, who didn't demonstrate enough improvement or developmental progress during the preseason battle to hold on to the starting role. Instead, the former Giants' first-round selection and 2025 offseason addition, Jones will lead the Colts offense for the first time in his NFL career. So what do you guys think about Daniel Jones coming in, leading the Colts? As a starter. I'm going to start with you, Mike. Mike Pease.
I mean, on the outside looking in, it looks like that's all they feel like they can do at that point. You know what I'm saying? Richardson, his focus is not fully on the game. He fits that same stereotype as like somebody getting paid, they in the league, and then now they focus is on all these other things and not really focused on what he got going on. He been chilling for a minute. Bro, barely played. He barely played. I thought he was gonna be something at first, like at the beginning of his career, but he ain't doing nothing at all. And even showing like basically he had to go against basically Daniel to keep his spot going. Daniel's new to the team, so Daniel's gonna show what he got. Daniel's butt, in my opinion, too. Daniel's butt, but he probably put in 100% more effort than Richardson to be able to earn this spot. I'm
Learn
not
the
saying he's gonna
plays,
do something.
everything.
Yeah, he's still gonna probably be butt. He's still gonna probably be garbage this season. You know what I'm saying? But he did more effort to be able to win. I feel like he earned that spot fair and square, though, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
LT, this has been your team you've been kind of cooked on and talked about. I know you even said that you thought that Shador should go to this team. However, he's not heading there right now, but they do have Daniel Jones starting their quarterback. What do you think about this, man?
Well, he's definitely their best option. Okay, after what I've seen. Now that's saying some bad stuff right there, man. I don't have anything nice to say about that team. If I'm being honest with you, listen, the Colts QB situation is trash. All right, it is complete dog water. It is a dumpster fire up there. Okay, their preseason situation is so bad. I mean, listen to the stat here. They're 47 for 89. They're 52.8% as a QB room. They have 0 touchdowns in the QB room. They have 1 interception. Their longest pass is 25 yards. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? There's nothing being done. I mean, there's no progression. There's no, hey, look, man, let's try opening up the playbook. Let's see who our best option is. They ran vanilla stuff. I mean, it was embarrassing to watch that team honestly just perform the way that they have during the preseason. I'm not looking forward to the season. I think they're really in the contention for the #1 pick with the Saints, in my opinion. I think both those teams are in terrible, pathetic situations. But But the Colts did this to themselves. Okay, and Man has alluded to this earlier because we've talked about the Colts quite a bit with the whole trade scenario that I have been talking about and everything. That they have set up to build this team around the quarterback. They have no quarterback. Like, I don't understand how you can build a team the way they have and not set yourself up by bringing in a guy who can actually run the team the way it's supposed to be ran. They brought in Daniel Jones. They have Richardson, who is absolute trash. Daniel Jones is the best option they have. I'll leave it at that. But they've got to do something. They've got to make a trade. I don't even care if it's Shador anymore. Like, listen, New York has 3 starting quarterbacks over there. Okay, let me be very clear on that. On the Giants, I'm sure we'll get to that here shortly. It's crazy to me how you can have such a bad quarterback room at this point. Just a total room, not even 1-2 players. The whole room sucks. Like, they got to do something. They have to.
Man, give us your take on this.
Man, we looking at a team that has a star running back, Jonathan Taylor. The receiving room is what, Pittman Jr., Downs. They got Adonai Mitchell. They just got a tight end, Tyler Warren. He's fantasy football. People should go for him. Tyler Warren is a monster tight end. The O-line is built. They got, Quentin Nelson. They got a good D-line, Grover Stewart. They got good linebackers, Zara Franklin. They picked up 49ers cornerback. They got every position down except for one position. And that position right there is the free agency didn't have, not that they had stars in the free agency, but Justin Fields was up for grabs. Russell Wilson was up for grabs. Jameis Winston was up for grabs. It was a bunch of players that weren't superstars, but it was like possibilities.
Yeah.
and
then they had in the draft. The draft had a couple quarterbacks, that I understand if they didn't draft Milroe, that makes sense because they already tried to go that route. They don't know, but Shador goes that far down, and you have no idea if Richardson's going to try to play hard for you. If you have no idea, not that you have no idea if Daniel Jones is going to be good. Daniel Jones is not going to be good. They're certain of it.
Richardson's not going to be good. I think he had a 48% completion percentage. That's crazy. That's crazy. 48%.
But their whole team is 52.
He's chucking it like some dice. He's throwing the ball like some dice. He's
it's just, that's amazing to me that they did. I'm gonna watch you. I'm like, hey, come in here and train. Let me see you throw the ball a few times, Anthony Richardson. Before the draft, I'm gonna do that to him. Let me see if you've improved. Let me throw some slant routes, see what you got going on here. Because you were 48% last year, brother. You can't complete nothing. You walked off the field and quit on me last year. And I'm not getting rid of Joe Flacco.
We're gonna pay this dude $1 million to train you to throw better. And
he don't have something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with Anthony. This is my personal opinion.
It's up here.
Something's wrong with him mentally. You know what I mean? I've never seen a quarterback walk off the field and say, I'm tired. Like, you're like, I'm tired. Bro, you ain't gonna do nothing next play. Just probably hand the ball off or something.
Quit running the ball.
You know what I mean? Like, just hand the ball off next play, bro. I mean, call a timeout. Don't walk off the field. That's just and I think it had nothing to do with him being tired. It was something wrong with him up here. He was flustered. I think that's why he plays hurt so much. I'm hurt. Let somebody else go in. I'll be back in a couple weeks so he can play like it's not really him, his development, that he hasn't worked hard enough. Something's just not right. But the kid's young. He's younger than all the new quarterbacks that came out this year. He's younger than them. Younger than CJ Stroud, younger than all these guys. He's young quarterback.
Where did he play ball in college at?
I'm not sure.
Florida.
I'm not.
Florida. I think he played for Florida.
Who's that?
Probably a style that fit him.
Richardson. He played. What college did he play for?
Florida.
Yeah. A style where you can run in college. You can run.
Played in the SEC, man. Like he knows how to play the game. That's not the issue. Like you said, man, it's up here. For me, he's just not in it. He's not in it.
He's a wide receiver. Yeah.
And college is just different too. You gotta look at guys like Vince Young and players like this. I mean, there's ways if you can run, you can play college ball.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it. You don't have to be the best. Half the throws you make are not like there's not a window most of the time in college. You
Yeah.
got kids is one-on-one. You
Yeah.
got one kid's better than the other. He's gonna overpower. You're in the SEC. You got all the best players on your team. Which
Yep,
your
exactly.
offensive line is great. You know, what I mean, everything is great around you. All you gotta do is outrun the next kid. And the pros, it's a different situation. Like it's like this. I can't remember where the kid was from. He was like, they're like, so what's different about the NFL? He's like, well, even on the sorry teams, they got Pro Bowlers. You know what I mean? He said the sorry teams. He said in college, you know what I mean? If you're a sorry team, they probably don't have any good players at all. You know what I mean? But in the pros, even the sorry teams got good guys on their team, so it's just a different situation for them.
As far as Richardson, it's kind of the same thing that Man is saying. I see a lot of people right now. Richardson is in what's his name? Pryor. He used to play quarterback for the
Terrell
Raiders.
Pryor.
Yeah,
Ohio State.
and then he ended
Ohio
up
State,
turning
yeah.
into he ended up turning into a receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the kind of position that he really in for real right now. There ain't nothing he could really do as far as playing QB. He not built for it mentally. It's breaking him down.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 240, could run. Put him at
Whoa, he's
receiver.
6'4".
6'4", 240.
Man, that's sad to see him go out like this, man, because he could be a monster at quarterback, man. He has all the intangibles, man. It sucks to see him kind of go like that. But let's skip over to the next guy who, in my personal opinion, may be the same as
Nah,
I won't say it was Richardson. Let me not go that far because that dude, I can't. I won't do that to you. We're gonna touch on man's guy, Jalen Milroe will start and play the entire game versus the Packers on Saturday. Jalen Milroe will get his time in the spotlight this weekend. Multiple reports say the Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald announced on Thursday that Milroe will start and play the entire preseason finale against the Packers on Saturday afternoon. Milroe, a third-round pick in this year's draft, is in line to be Seattle's third quarterback in the 2025 season behind starter Sam Darnold and backup Drew Luck. Milroe played 42% of Seattle's offensive snaps in the preseason opener before taking 33% of the offensive snaps in last week's matchup with the Chiefs. In his two preseason appearances, Milroe has completed 9 of 15 passes for 107 yards. He's also rushed 8 times for 56 yards. So we're gonna start with you, man. We know this is your guy. You know how I feel about him. I've watched him over at Alabama, and he didn't rub me the right way. However, his first preseason game that he played in, he looked good. And I had to take some of that back. He looked good. He completed a few passes. He ran the ball. He also showed me a few throws I didn't really like either. And I did attribute the loss to some plays that he did in the last part of the game, which kind of gave up the ball and helped the other team be put in position to kick a field goal. But, that's neither here nor there. What do you think about your guy, Jalen Milroe?
Man, I think the world of that player right there. I'll tell you right now, the thing about him is we put him in the game. We got bad blood, bad beat. They just had 2 fades in the Packers game. Packers practices. 2 fades already went down.
Hey, let me let everybody know what fades are. Fades are fights. Just let the crowd know who may see this. A fade is a fight.
The PG version. PG.
Yeah. We already had 2 fades. We already had 2 fades in there, and we're gonna put him in the brood of it all. Like that means it's bad blood, and he's gonna be the number 1 dude that they coming after the whole game. That's because we got a dog in the making. We're trying to build a monster. Yeah, this year he's not gonna start, and I'm fine with that. This is a development year. But to throw him against probably the closest thing to a regular season game you could probably get would be this one right here, where it was a couple days ago.
Are they playing their ones? Are they playing their Packers playing their number 1 defense? And will he be playing behind the number 1 offense? Will he have his number 1 offense on the field for him? To kind of see what he can do with those guys. Or are they playing 2s?
No, I don't think they playing number 1s. I don't think they playing number 1s.
I mean,
but our receivers is such good number 2s. We got some monsters too. But all I know is him right there, the 9 of 15 passing. That's what we're not expecting.
2 games. It's 2 games, though. That's 2 whole games, bro. That's
a third
2
one
games.
is coming. A third one is coming.
Yeah, he's gonna get a lot of work in this now. We're gonna really get to see what he's talking about this game. We're gonna see if
Yeah, that's a monster in the making. Just wait, because he'll be behind Darnold, behind Locke. They gonna
it's gonna flip flop, I think, quickly from him and Locke.
But I love the 9 of 15. I love that he's still so cool at trying to run the ball. Because I was thinking like, oh, is he gonna be trying to change the way he plays because of what's said about him and what they're trying to do to him? But no, that he's gonna still play his way.
Get up
but
out
he's
of
going
there.
to still play efficiently. And this team is going to be a running team, so passing is not going to be a problem. Like passing is secondary to us, I think, because we have one of the most talented running backs in the NFL.
So you think they went and paid down all this money just to run the football with him? Because you guys got some good receivers.
Yep.
You think so?
I definitely think so. I think Darnold picking him up was just so JSN could have a good season still. JSN is because that's our young receiver. We just need him to not be mad at us while we don't win this year. We're gonna make it to the playoffs. We're not gonna be no Super Bowl team, but he needs to get his numbers in.
Yeah.
So Darnold is just for that. Darnold is for his sake.
And the crowd too, to kind of keep the people in the game. You didn't just give up on the season after losing Gino.
It's not a tank, it's a bridge. But
LT, what you think?
I love your optimism. I love your optimism. I will say that the whole playoff thing is interesting. I think they're gonna be on the fence for it. Don't get me wrong; they'll be right there at the end of the season. I think for playoffs, I don't know if they're gonna make it, but I will say this: I don't think the kid's making any unnecessary mistakes. He's not taking any unnecessary risks, anything like that, which you normally see a rookie come in and do. I think they're setting him up pretty well. If I'm being honest, I don't think he's going to get much playing time this year. So I do think it's pretty pivotal for them to put him in for this entire game. He's going to be going against twos and threes. Let's be real, which is great. I think he's going to get a full game. Now we get an actual sample size. We haven't really seen what he really has yet in small doses, right? And kind of clean up, mop up scenarios. He's came in and they've honestly trounced who they've been playing. So they haven't really had to throw the ball. They're trying to get the clock ran, get everybody done so they don't have any injuries going into the next week. That's what preseason is. Yeah. I mean, I see him being pretty successful on this team. I do see him passing up Locke during the season for the backup role. But that being said, I will say this. Locke has been playing pretty well as well during the preseason. I think all three of them have actually played above what I would say I would have thought they would have been at this point for the preseason, especially. I think they're ready to go for this season. They'll definitely make a run. I just don't think they're going to be great by any means, but they're missing a couple of things on that side. Offensively, they look fantastic. Defensively, they look fantastic. I will say that defensively, they're stopping everybody. It's just how consistent can they be on offense? Darnold is going to be the X factor for Seattle, right? In my opinion, he is going to be the X factor. If he plays well, they're going to have a very good chance. But if he does not play to the level that he played at last season, I don't see that happening. And then you're actually going to see that guy come into the game and get those rookie snaps that everybody's really looking forward to. So there's kind of a good and a bad for it, right? Because if you have Drew Hunt play bad, if you have the starter play bad and Darnold, then you get to see a really, really good quarterback come in and really get to see what he has against starters year one. I think a lot of people actually want to see that. So a lot of people might be hoping Seattle does kind of bad at the beginning so you can see it sooner. I think they're fine, though. I think they'll be pretty decent. I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl or even a playoff team for that matter, but they're going to be right there.
Mike Pease.
I was already telling y'all about Miro when y'all wasn't feeling him before he started the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, he ain't doing nothing that's surprising to me because I already felt like he was already gonna do this. I could say the thing that stood out to me though was really his patience and like how his thinking is. You know what I'm saying? He's really trying to calculate his decisions and make sure he's doing them correctly. He's not forcing nothing. There's no in my opinion, it looks like there's no pressure on him. He's just doing his thing with it, what he can do at that time. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's looking good right now. And he gonna keep doing what he's doing. Like it's nothing new to what I've been saying since when he first got drafted. You know what I'm saying? He's doing exactly what I thought he was gonna do.
You were high on him. I remember that. You were very high on him.
Yeah, he's a solid player in my opinion. He's definitely solid. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing good right now, and hopefully he just keeps it going. Of course, I don't think he's gonna get the playing time as well, but the development that he's going to be getting over this year is going to turn him into a monster for next year. Next year, he'll end up being going crazy. I don't think Darnold's going to be playing next year or having that starter position next year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's going to be that one. He's going to be that guy. Drew Luck is cool. He cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he gonna have it over Milroe. Not at all.
Yeah, I feel it. I think it's a I think it makes a lot of sense where you're coming from with that right there. I do. Me personally, how I really look at the situation is this right here. I think that Milroe, to me, he'll pass up Drew Lock. You know, I mean, going into this season, if Sam Darnold, like, you know, just like you were saying to LT, if Sam Darnold doesn't play well, I think it's going to be a push for him to probably end up taking the starting role. They won't ever push for Drew Lock to take the starting role. He just not. They've already given him an opportunity. Yeah. He's shown who he is. He's not that person. It's going to be very hard for them to pull Darnold because they paid him so much money. But I honestly feel like Darnold, man, is just. He's not what they thought he was. I think they paid him a lot of money versus what they thought he felt like he did last year. But he had some elite receivers last year.
Do you know how much they gave him?
They gave him over 100 and something million, didn't they? They gave him a pretty nice.
I ain't know that. That's crazy.
They broke him off. I mean, now I think it's like 3 years. Something like that. It was like some bread. They broke him off like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
You can do that. You can do that when you're not paying for a quarterback. You can
absolutely. No, I'm not saying it wasn't because somebody else would have did it just because of the name and what he presented. That's all that's doing is making sure your season tickets are being sold. All they did was secure the rest of the season tickets sold. There ain't gonna be no problems. Your fan base is coming into this year hyped. Oh yeah, we got Sam Darnold. Man, I've watched Sam Darnold fold several times. I have, me personally. I mean, I put the band on him one game. I'm putting the band on. I think they're gonna win. They lost. A game they should not have lost last year. You know what I mean? And so it showed me like, okay, this person right here will fold. But I've seen him play good when he played against the Detroit Lions. He played, I've seen him play well. I've seen him do. So it's a mixed bag with him. But we're gonna have to see him in an offense that's gonna be. I mean, your running game may work, but it may not if they can get on Darnold, and then they're gonna be able to bring up some of their safeties and be able to stack the box. It may not work for you guys. I don't know. But going back to Jalen Milroe, I have not seen enough from him. 9 for 15 over 2 games where you played 42% of the snaps in the first game and 33% of the snaps. They don't trust you throwing the ball. That's what it sounds like to me. You only threw the ball 15 times. I mean, you got to look at Shador. He's only played in half. I'll bring him up because that's my guy. But he played in half a game, maybe a little bit over. I think he played a little bit of third too. But he threw the ball 23 times. Even Dylan Gabriel, he played a half the game. He threw the ball 18 times. You know what I mean? You look at even like Jackson Dart, which we will be talking about later. He threw the ball a lot. You played in 2 games, and they didn't let you throw the ball. There's something about him that they don't trust just yet, and his throwing. That doesn't mean he can't. And that's this is not the bag on your guy, man, because you're my guy.
I'm just saying. Hence, a run game being what we do. We have a top running back. We have a backup that's also probably the top 3, top 5 backup running backs in the league. Charbonnet. We drafted Damian Martinez. We have running backs.
Let me ask you this.
3 running backs deep for a reason.
Let me ask you this. Do you tell me one team, and maybe I'm just not seeing it right now, that's based off of the run? Like, I know we can say the Eagles,
Ravens.
but I don't feel like they are. I mean, even the Ravens, I don't.
The Ravens, the
Steelers
Lions
play off the run. I feel like
the Ravens, the Lions, the Eagles. These are running teams. These are the top teams in the league.
Absolutely, but you gotta look at the Eagles. They got 2-star receivers. Let's not act like the Eagles weren't already a good team without the running game like they have right now. You gotta act like the Ravens were the same team that they were right now without a running game like this. The running game enhanced who they were. It was not like that's who they are. I'm saying like top teams. What top team? Even with the Detroit Lions, they had 2,000-yard running backs, but they still had a top throwing, passing offense as well too.
The Eagles had less than 3,000. Jalen Hurts, I think he passed for less than 3,000 passing yards and won the Super Bowl. And
don't get me wrong. That was the icing on the cake. That cake was already going to the Super Bowl without the running game that they got right now. They were already a top team in the NFC. Without that running game. I'm not trying to say the running game is not a monster for them, but you got to fear both sides of the ball with them. It's not like people are like, that's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong here. I know you guys are but at the same time, I'm like, I don't see a team that's based their entire game plan. Like back in the day, you could do that because it was like there's like 3 yards in a cloud of dust or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But teams are throwing the ball so much now, like it takes you can't. That's why it made me so worried about my team, Denver Broncos. Not to change subject, but because I looked at it like, man, you can't win unless you can be a quick strike team. Teams in the playoffs, they're running the score up fast. And if your team can't do that, if you have to rely on the run, it's very difficult for you to get. I mean, it's going to take 15 plays to get the 20 plays to get the ball way downfield with a running team versus 7 plays with a Mahomes. 10 plays, 12, 11 plays with a Patrick Mahomes. It's a little bit different. You got to be able to do that. But don't get me wrong. I hope Milroe plays well. He looked good in that first game I saw him. Even like he could throw the ball. Like, okay, you might be able to throw the ball. Because in college, I didn't see that from him. You know what I mean? I just didn't see it from him. However, it might change. It might change up. What do you, so go ahead, man. I know I'm gonna let you finish this.
And we got JSN, we got Cooper Kupp, we have Torrey Horton, we have receivers on the team. We drafted a tight end, Elijah Arroyo. We got anything you want to throw to us. We got people with hands. So if he wants to throw,
absolutely,
so it's like he doesn't have to go all in running, but it's just we can run the ball with our 3 running backs that we got, or he can run the ball, or then we have 4 receiving options. That right there is just and our O-line. We drafted O-line first. Drafted O-line first is like the dream. I've been dreaming about that for years. Finally did it. Our team right now is built to last in a grimy fight. Like
I got you.
Grimy fight.
I got you. And let's not look down on Sam Darnold. I mean, I can't just speak totally bad because he did perform. He might even have performed last year better than we might see from JJ McCarthy this year. It might be a thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just mad at him for losing me money. Maybe I keep on bringing that up. Maybe I'm just angry at him about that, and I'll never forgive him. And maybe that's what it is because he might end up because they did have a decent season last year. They had a good year. Yeah. So
Sam Darnold is a product of a quarterback-proof wide receiver. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's on the field with him. We just hoping JSN is also one of those. But
we're gonna find out.
We want to run the ball anyways. We want to run the ball. That's why I'm like, okay, yeah. Because say K9 gets injured, we still have 2 more running backs. Say one of them's tired, 2 more running backs. We have 3 running backs on the team. I don't know any other team with 3 running backs, or I can't name them. It's because we're a running team.
Absolutely. So let's skip over to the New York Giants, man. And I know we this is an interesting team for us because when you looked at it, Jackson Dart was there. I think what was he, like the 6th pick in the draft or something like that? Maybe it was 8th. What was he? He was first round pick, correct?
He was
like in the top 10, wasn't he?
I think he was top 20.
Was he? I'm not absolutely sure. I know that Abdul was number 6 or something like that, number 4, one of the 2.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean? I know they, but so I mean, looking at him as me personally, I would have picked up Shador over him. However, during this preseason, we watched him ball out. He showed me he has a great arm and he can run the ball a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Here and there too. He's like he kind of gives off he looks like he has a gun for an arm. Really, he's been completing his passes. I mean, he hasn't thrown any pick sixes that I've seen that he did during like training camp. But at the same time, though, are they really going to give him the kind of time that he deserves this year when you have a guy like Russell Wilson playing the way he's playing right now? I mean, he's throwing dimes out there. You got Jameson Winston. I mean, we all know Jameson Winston. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to throw touchdowns. You don't know what you're going to get from him. And then you got Jackson Dart, who is looking like a potential starter. LT, I'm gonna start with you on this one. What do you think about Jackson Dart this year, and what do you think about the quarterback situation over there?
I think we were hard on him whenever he got drafted. I will say that because of the whole Shador situation, but I think he's played probably the best football as far as rookie quarterbacks are concerned in the preseason. And again, I think that is in tune as far as not really playing defenses at their best as far as, blitz packages, certain stunts up top on the line that aren't happening. There's certain things that I get that, right?
You only can play your competition. You only can play your competition.
Exactly. So I think he's playing lights out. I mean, dude, he's 26 of 35, 74.3% completion rating, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's only been sacked once. His rating's 117. Like, the dude's playing lights out. I mean, you can't deny that. Right. Absolutely. I mean, he's playing fantastic. And don't get me wrong. The Giants are not great by any means, but I do think their quarterback room's in a really decent spot. I mean, dude, you have Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson. You even have DeVito. Don't forget about Tommy. He came in there, Tommy Cutlets, right? He came in there and actually drove them to some wins last season, right? He won me some money. Let's be honest. So I like DeVito too. I mean, honestly, we were talking about another team earlier that has no starting quarterbacks on their roster. This one probably has 3. So I think that's nuts. But at the same time, Jackson's playing really well. It's just, again, it's hard to get playing time. It's kind of like Milroe, man. It's hard to get playing time whenever you have people like Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston in front of you. Like, you have those 2 vets that are proven to me, right? I mean, they can play at an extremely high level. They're going to get you the wins. They're going to make the team better. But I think both of these quarterbacks are in an extremely good position right now. They're playing well. They're showing that they're going to be the quarterbacks of the future for these 2 franchises. I think that's pretty much where they're sitting at right now. I think the preseason will prove it for both of them.
So, Mike P., I mean, we look at this quarterback room, man. They got a deep quarterback. Right now, Jackson Dart, he's still an anomaly because we don't know what he's going to play like during the regular season, but he's looking like a consummate pro right now. He's looking good out there. I mean, he's completing what they put in front of him. He's competing against the guys they put in front of him, and he's doing his job. Right. We've got 2 other career kind of starting quarterbacks out there. What do you think is going to happen with this year and how it's going to play out for the New York Giants?
See, with me, my thing is like I pay more attention to the young cats coming in than the people who already proved themselves as far as being in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I look, and it might even be like to the point to where I might think of them too early on. Like the stuff that I said that they gonna do it, they might not do it this year or next year or whatever the case may be. Jackson's a dog though. That man's a dog. You know what I'm saying? Jameis, that's my guy, you know what I'm saying? He the funny cat, you know what I'm saying? He don't try to be funny, but he just naturally funny, whatever the case may be. He's inconsistent. He's never been consistent in his whole career. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been the cat that will show out and then the next game be garbage. You know what I'm saying? And then Russ is looking nice. It's the environment, how the New York, the love that he gets, you know what I'm saying? But as far as watching him last year, it's kind of the same thing in a certain sense. You know what I'm saying? With Justin Fields and Russ. They had to switch off. If Russ can hold it down and keep doing what he's doing, but the moment I feel like he starts not doing what he's supposed to do, I feel like that can change quickly for him, just like it did last year when they started putting Justin Fields in. It's going to kind of be the same thing. If Jackson keeps doing what he's doing, it might happen way sooner than people expect. You know what I'm saying? Even with just on a certain topic too, which y'all saying like, y'all thought that Shador should have been picked up over Jackson. Everybody knows the Giants don't pick up black quarterbacks. That's just they never done that ever in their career.
2 of them this year. They got 2.
I'm talking about in the draft. They've never drafted a black quarterback. Never. They never have. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It's not something that I didn't expect them. That's the only team ever that I did not expect to draft Shador. But they made the right choice as far as picking Jackson, though, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? He's showing out. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Man, what's your take on this? I mean, they got some pieces right there, man. I mean, you got two really good trade, potential, maybe one, because no one's probably going to pick up Russ in the trade. They're probably not worried too much about him, but I think someone would take Jameis Winston. My personal opinion. I'm not down in Russ for that. I just don't think that. I think people just don't really look at him as a starting QB like that.
Lost faith in him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart did not do nothing special. You guys is gassing him right now, super gassing him. I don't know what this is. This is crazy to me that he gives so much love, and then Milroe just gets Milroe is just that is just the craziest thing. This is blasphemy. This don't make no sense.
Milroe is not in double-digit completed passes yet.
Okay, well,
so
I'm just gonna say Jackson Dart threw probably 0 passes over 5 yards. I don't think he completed one. It was he threw this one pass.
One.
He threw this one pass that was like 5 yards, and the dude ran like 40, 50.
I saw that one. I saw that one too.
That was his best pass. He is not he's not been balling. He's regular. This is something that you expect from. If he was on the Saints, yes, okay, good. This is what you need. You need someone that throws it 5 yards.
You have to go there.
He throws it 5 yards and it becomes 1,000. He has not thrown one ball where I was like, oh, that's a player I need. No, Russ threw a ball that was better than that. He threw like a 60-yard bomb.
I've seen
that.
I saw one from Dart. I can't say I saw one, but don't get me wrong. I agree with you.
Longer than 10 yards.
I think the one that he had the touchdown, the guy, it could drop right into his lap. It was a great pass. It was a great. It just one time. Just one time.
That was like something in goal.
I can't remember.
It was on a goal, man.
I think he caught the touchdown. I think he caught it in the. But no, what I'm saying is this right here. I think he's been managed well. I think he's been managed well. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of these quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, have been like they said even with Dylan Gabriel, his first 10 plays were set up. They already had your first drawn. This is what you're gonna do, and this is how. So it was pretty much like you're dinking and dunking. Pretty much, I think to get their confidence level up too, because I do believe that Jackson Dart has he's a very emotional quarterback. Man. Yeah, but with that comes ups and downs. Because if you're not playing well, then somebody start talking about that, and you're in New York. It's not like you're in some podunk town out the way somewhere. You're in New York.
That's another thing I just forgot to say too. The whole Milroe, he only threw this many times, and these players threw this many times. These players threw this many times. We talk about Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. Okay, who are they gonna hand the ball off to? Who's the running back?
I think the dude Junkins or whatever his name is, he's gonna play.
But he ain't solidified. Don't get me wrong. I was just telling you about him too, but he ain't solidified though. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're gonna run.
He's not proven.
He's not running back. You talking about the Giants? Was Scatterbo playing?
Scatterbo, they got. I think the Giants
they have a team. They have a team.
If Scatterbo wasn't playing though, then I'm not talking about no Giants running backs. Like these is teams that are forced to pass. They're not no running teams. We have a team. We have 3 running.
They got neighbors too, though. I mean, they got a lot of pieces. The Giants have put together
pass.
Yeah, they put
Giants put together a squad though. I feel like they put together like a perfect team for each other, if that makes sense.
Great
like
D-line.
3 years and like 2-3 years, they might be. It depends.
Good.
Yeah, if Jackson Dart turns into what people think he may be, and what he's looking like he could be, you know what I mean? If he turns into that, if he doesn't do Joe Milton,
control a game. He needs to control a game. If he can control a game, control the time, that's all.
That's a different situation. That's a different situation. It's like it's being able to see those packages and versus him and how he reacts to that. Not just coming in here, like that goes for all quarterbacks, though. Not just coming in here and dealing with, hey, we're going to run this slant here. I mean, a lot of those. That's what we're seeing. A lot of that's happening right now in the preseason. A lot of that. You know what I mean? Especially from first-year quarterbacks. But that's normal. But he played very well. I can't take that from him, man. He played better than what I thought he would play. I don't think that I think they have a really good trade piece in Jameis Winston. Not that they're going to get a lot for him, you know what I mean? But somebody probably is going to end up needing the quarterback before. But, imagine if a team's playing halfway decent and their starter goes down. They'll trade for a Jameis Winston. They may even trade for a Russell Wilson. I don't know, but I think he's going to go Jameson first because he might throw you 2 interceptions, but he's going to put 2 touchdowns with it.
Yeah, because if I'm the Dolphins, I might just be like, all right, Tua might not be able to make it.
We know how that goes.
Russ could throw 60 yards, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because he's probably going to get a concussion or 2 early, and we all know how he gets concussions. He really shouldn't be playing no more, to be honest.
I would have retired.
Yeah, he should. Whoever his wife is.
They got 4 quarterbacks that are pretty proven, in my opinion, as far as being able to play the game. Right, better than a lot of these teams have in quarterback rooms. I think you're going to see that QB room break up pretty quickly. You might not see 2 of them there later on.
I think Tua, he probably got a real good life insurance policy, so he don't even care what's going on. He don't even care.
He's got CTE already. He's already got it.
He's like 27 right now.
I mean, the dude gets tapped barely in his head. He just falls out like he's out like a light. Like man, you didn't even get hit that hard, brother. Yeah. Man, this is crazy. You know what I mean? You know how them sheep that bounce around and you scare them and stuff, they freeze up and all that like that. That's how he falls. Not to make fun of him because it's probably messed up. His
it's a horrible thing.
Yeah, his brain's probably messed up. But I mean, it is what it is, man. But I mean, we'll see. I hope that I mean, we get a chance to see Jackson Dart play a little bit this year. So I think that would be good for the New York Giants to have an opportunity to see Jackson Dart play. But let's move on to the next controversy. Brown Shedeur Sanders on Dylan Gabriel's entertainers and competitors quote. I'm not tripping. Shedeur Sanders was asked Tuesday about the entertainers and competitors quote. Fellow Browns quarterback Dylan Gabriel dropped last Saturday during a preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles. A lighthearted Sanders explained that Gabriel's comments didn't faze him. Sanders also noted that Gabriel addressed him on the plane ride home to Cleveland after the exhibition, clarifying to Sanders personally that the entertainers he was referring to were the media members, not Sanders. So I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to see this quote that that Dylan Gabriel said about said to the media, I should say. But let me start this off with you, man. What do you think that this quote really meant? Do you think that he was shooting a shot, or do you think that this was something that was just a quote that he had, to get something off of his chest as far as the media was concerned?
Man, it had to have been. I mean, it could be just a rookie mistake. Could just be a rookie mistake. I think he was definitely shooting a shot though. Like, he went to college against dude. Like, he grew up being the underdog to Shador, and he probably already had these thoughts in his head that this is what it was. And then everybody, like when we talk about Shador being where, like, oh, they drafted him, this is for the media. Like we talk about its entertainment side. So he probably been hearing this. People have been gassing his head up, talking about that. Like, he should have never, like, it might be a rookie mistake. I think he should have never even, because Shador has never, I ain't never heard Shador say something on anything and been like, oh, why'd he say that? He ain't never slipped up on nothing.
So, Mike P, what are you thinking about this subject right here? Do you feel like this was a direct shot, or do you feel like they're just making more of it than it really should be made of?
I agree with man. I think it was a shot. You know what I'm saying? It kind of don't make sense. I feel like it's more so like the same thing that's been happening to Shador. They hating on him. You know what I mean? Dylan, in his mind, I got drafted higher. You know what I'm saying? I should be getting more love, whatever the case may be. But in reality, Shador is outplaying him, and he just don't know how to really feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And he same thing, rookie mistake. I look at it like it was that. You know what I'm saying? He don't really got no good marketing skills. You ain't gonna hear Shador say it because I mean he has somebody who was a master marketer as a father. You know what I'm saying? He has somebody in his ear that's gonna tell him what to say and not to say and all these type of things. But in reality, I feel like it was a shot. But can't nobody really knock what Shador is doing. Shador, he's not an entertainer by choice. They made him this way. You know what I'm saying? The internet, all this did that for him on his own. That was the most watched preseason game. Was Shador playing? He didn't say nothing to the world at all. We just heard Shador about to start. Everybody watching it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to take a shot in that aspect that I feel like he took. I feel like that was unnecessary in my opinion.
LT, what's your take on this right here? I mean, do you feel like this was malicious, or do you feel like, it's just being overblown?
I'm going to be honest, man. I get the points, right? I understand the points that are being made here, and I could see it that way for sure. But at the same time, being in this position before where you're competing for a job, right? And I get they've had history, whatever the case is there. I understand that. Look, Shador's a competitor, right? He's not just an entertainer. And Dylan knows that as well. Let's be honest. He's seen him. He knows he can play. He knows he can play at a high level. Hell, you're saying he's better than him, right? If you think somebody's better than you, you're not going to call him an entertainer. So I don't think he was taking a shot per se at him. I do think he was telling the media, hey, look, this isn't a big deal type of thing. Look, we're competing for a job type of scenario going down. And I think that's where it was. Now, I agree with Man. I do think it was a rookie mistake with the wording that he chose. I will say that. But at the same time, I do think it goes more along the lines of, hey, look, we're competing over here. You guys are here for the entertainment. We're competing kind of thing. That's where I think he was going at that. And because like I said, it goes straight to what Mike was talking about. He's being outplayed. He's not going to call the kid an entertainer. Okay. If you're being outplayed by him, because what does that make you at that point? Right. So coming from that deciding, I just don't see it happening on that route. I don't agree with it being a shot in most cases. Maybe a 2% chance of it being a shot, to be honest, just because, like I said, it's a competing factor. You're competing for a job against this guy, and it is down to those two, let's be honest, for that one spot. So I don't think it was a shot. And the fact that he came up to him on the plane and said, hey, look, this was not about you, right? And I will say this too. I like the fact that Shador came out and basically rubbed it off his shoulder right away as soon as they tried to confront him about it, because they were trying to cause a rift. That's what the media does. we try to cause rifts, right, between players sometimes, especially if you're competing for a job. If it's a big national spotlight story like Shador has been all preseason, right? So anytime something like his name gets brought up, it's going to be front page news. Okay, so the fact that it was done like that, yeah, it's going to be front page. But no, I don't see any malicious intent by him in this case. He's just being competitive in that regard. But he is a rookie. I don't think he knows how to speak to the media yet. And the fact that Shador has grown up with the media basically at his front door every day, he knows how to respond to the media. He knows how to talk. He knows the verbiage to use. Our guy doesn't know that yet. All right, Dylan has no idea how to speak yet when it comes to the media.
Interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want you guys to know something. I've been kind of going back and forth on this. When I first heard it, first thing I thought, yeah, this was a shot across the bow. Then as I listened more and more, he kind of drew me in with his no. I've said something like this before, X, Y, and Z. And I guess they said he had said something like this before. I didn't watch that clip. I don't know that for sure, but I had to give it a benefit of the doubt. But as I listen to us sit here and talk about it, I come to the conclusion that I do think that there was something to this a little bit, because you look at Dan Lanning. What did he do? This is what he was, even though Dillon Gabriel was not there during when he made that statement, to look at the statement that he made. We're not here for clicks. We're in here for, you don't think he still speaks with his college coach? You don't think he still talks to him? And and sometimes you have, and he knows who's going to call the media entertainers. Why is he even shooting shots at the media whatsoever? This is the third quarter when he said this. You'd already probably thrown your pick six and whatever else you had going on. You're talking about being a competitor, X, Y, and Z, and at the same time, it's a way for him to shoot a shot. If you play well, say something like this, because now you can almost, are you looking to draw him out? Are you looking to smoke out Shador Sanders with this? Oh, if I say this and it becomes an issue and he comes out and he says something back to me, now he looks like the bad guy and the aggressor, and this is a way I can kind of get him. If you think about it also, the coach, Kevin Stefanski, has come out and kind of almost made statements. He's made statements, not even kind of. He said that basically Dillon Gabriel was smarter than Shador Sanders. I'm not saying he said it explicitly, but he's like, I love Dillon Gabriel's cerebral side of the game. He's very smart. He's intellectual. If you're not saying the same thing about Shador Sanders, what are you saying? And so at the end of the day, I think they're playing like kind of almost like a game with this whole entire thing. Because it can be shielded off. Go ahead.
They've been doing that, though. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about this for the longest. All it is just pent up anger towards certain. Like I said, we didn't have conversations even then. Like when it comes to Dillon Gabriel, I feel like nobody even really respected him as far as even with the college situation. Like I tell you all the time, I don't think Shador should have got his number retired with Colorado or whatever the case may be. These players got a lot of animosity towards somebody, but not for a reason that Shador did something to them, more so because of the love and the situations that people feel like they probably deserve to get than Shador did. You know what I'm saying? In a certain aspect. Dillon Gabriel and all of them, everybody, it's more so the anger or the hating that they have on Shador and his pops. You know what I mean? So as far as it being into something, it was definitely a shot towards that. And how you just said it right now, that was kind of low-key perfect, how you explained it. It was probably a way to try to get Shador to say something and end up being something that was like in-house, like a little in-house beef or whatever, but he decided to brush it off. You know what I'm saying? His media skills it paid off on him that day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
Was it Shador that came up and said, "Oh, he told me on the plane"? Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
Shador said it in a.
So
yeah.
he really saved Dillon Gabriel. So
Yep.
like he really gave him one. Like he was like, okay, yeah, whatever you said. Because Shador in his head, he's probably thinking, I know what you mean, and then he's telling the media, oh, that's not what he means. It's just like he's saving him, but he's taking one for the team because he's a team player. He
Shador's
knows
a
how to
good
act.
teammate. That's how he is.
Yeah.
Do we
He's
think that this
I've
person
never seen him mess
did
up
this
as a
on
rookie.
accident?
Say it one more time.
Do we really believe that he did that on accident? Do we really believe that wasn't a planned response?
If
The whole competitors thing. I mean, yeah. But are you going to go after the media like as being
he would say competitors and media? That's what he would say. Competitors and media.
Yeah, like you calling these people. I mean, I understand why too. I get you, LT. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think the fact of the matter is he's going after the media because the media is making it an entertainment factor in that situation, right? With the whole QB situation going on up there, because they're making it solely about those two, not the other two. They're literally making it solely about them.
About
So
the
that,
two
listen,
people,
let us
correct?
be the competitors.
You know, but
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? But they're making it about these two. He said entertainers versus competitors. You know what I mean? So he's drawing a contrast.
He said there
the
are
guy.
entertainers and there are competitors. He didn't say it like singular. He said there are entertainers and there are competitors, right? Look, like I said earlier, Shador is not an entertainer. That's nobody has ever said that about Shador. He literally is one. You can't come out on Mel Kiper's big board as the number 2 or number 3 quarterback and be a joke. All right.
When you look at him, when he stands up and he throws a touchdown, he runs to the thing, brushes off his AP or whatever he got, and he's doing this. That's entertainment. I mean, period. We all watch him entertain us. This is what Shador talks. He walks into the arena with, you know what I mean? Like, not saying that was intentional with the guy with the staff. The guy with the staff does that all the time. The guy with he brought, and that was the other dude's, you know what I mean, a speaker that he brought for himself too, and he was just playing Shador's song. So all of that is a part of his big change. That's all. Come on. Are we talking?
But see, here's my thing though. Y'all are putting him in an entertainment factor at that point. You do realize that if you're saying that this was a shot at Shador, you're saying that he's in that role.
Do we not think? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because he's not an entertainer. I want to make that
the
very
media,
clear.
like I said, the media put him in that way. Didn't they had like they recording that man nonstop. You know what I'm saying? There's nonstop clips of him and his pops, but that's not on him.
That's what he's going at. Is my point. That's and I'm glad we're talking about this because, like I said, I think it's been misconstrued completely, man. Because he's basically telling them to shut that. Up.
It's Prime. Was Deion Sanders entertainer as well?
Yeah, he's for sure entertainer.
But he's a competitor. The dude is a winner.
He is. I mean but that's also coming from the fact of the matter. He had a chance to go and win as well. But Prime, I'm talking about Prime ain't gonna do this in Prime. Wait the Prime get the ball. That was entertainment. He knew how to entertain, but he also was that too. He also was a competitor as well. So
you're watching because of how good these guys are. Let's be honest.
But right now, I think that's what they're trying to draw a contrast between. Like we look at how control. I mean, we look. We're not trying to jump on you, LT. We're not.
No,
but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
He with the smoke. He with the smoke.
I know he is.
I want all the smoke, baby.
Let me say this. We look at it from the beginning of this competition. Yes, Shador was a 5th round pick. We all know that. Okay, if we use that as like people have used that, he's a 5th round pick when he first came in. Everyone loved to say that about Shador. He's a 5th round pick because he was, and we all get why he was. Okay, cool. That's just what it is. Now he doesn't get any of the reps. He's not getting. He's throwing to the janitors sometimes. The janitors aren't playing against any real team defenses, so you're not even doing that. Then all of a sudden, they throw you into the mix to start the first preseason game that, you know what I mean? Here, okay, Shador, you're the guy now. Is that not being set up to be, here, let's try to set him up to fail. That's being set up to fail. Not saying that he is not a competitor within himself. He's not going to be ready to go out there and compete. But this is the NFL. This isn't high school. This isn't college. This is the NFL. These guys, you're playing against some of the best of the best. Even the guys who are tomorrow going to be taking out garbage or whatever they're going to be doing are still some of the best in the world. Players, period. So, okay, on top of that, so you're not even but when they bring Dylan Gabriel up, his first 10, 11, 12 plays are already signed up. You've already had hundreds of reps with the first, second teams. You know what I mean? This is what you're already ready to go. So they're pushing him they're pushing his whole agenda that he's cerebral. He's this. Now I'm the competitor versus I'm the blue collar guy versus the entertainer. This is what this is being pushed as. If we really look at it, Shador does his job. He is an entertainer, but he is a competitor at the same time. You can be both.
Oh yeah,
in my eyes,
I don't look at quarterbacks as being entertainers, man. I've never done that. It's weird.
Broadway Joe. Broadway Joe.
I don't look at entertainment though. I look at how good you are on the field, how good you.
But that's a part of the entertainment.
What about Jameis Winston? Okay, so Jameis Winston, what is he? A competitor or entertainer?
He played for the Saints. He's a competitor.
He was terrible in the Saints. He was terrible.
Listen. Here's the thing, right? If you're talking about the competitor versus entertainer fact, right? All right. It goes deeper, right? It goes deeper than that if that's true. Okay. So I'll play devil's advocate to myself, right? And jump on y'all's bandwagon real quick that it was a shot. Okay, so if it was a shot, it goes way deeper than y'all are even saying it is. It goes all the way to the Cleveland Browns. Okay, and I mean
Absolutely.
deep into the organization.
Absolutely.
And the reason I say that
Yep.
is
Absolutely.
because the way that he said it, right? Where he was picked in the draft. I know we keep talking about the draft. I'm sorry. Where Shador was picked in the draft, he knows he is the guy that they chose. Cleveland knows who they wanted at quarterback, right? So you're basically, if that is true, right? If it is true that he took a shot at him, he basically just said, my spot is solidified. I've been told that. You guys are paying attention to the entertainment value. That doesn't mean anything.
That's a fact. What you're saying is true. I believe what I was saying to you is I believe
if he's outplayed him like everybody's saying he has, then that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't matter, man. It does. I mean, at the end, I'm gonna tell you why it makes sense, because this is what I'm gonna say. He should have been a top 2 quarterbacks picked in the draft. My personal opinion, but yes, he should have. We look at everything from him. Yes, even when he played in this preseason game, he should have been one of the top 2 quarterbacks picked in the draft, in my personal opinion. Okay, enough about that. So then we move on. The Cleveland Browns, they already showed you they don't care. They watched this guy go 3 for 4 for 19. And multiple times he's done stuff like this. Come into the game, throw a pick 6. What did the coach say? Oh, we got to do a better job as coaches. Not that he threw a pick 6, not that he fumbled the football. And what did he say? Oh, no turnovers. When Shador had his game, all he talked about was no turnovers. He didn't say you threw 2 touchdowns. This guy went into the red zone. Whenever they got in the red zone, they had to kick field goals. He didn't throw any touchdowns. He didn't do any of that. You know what I mean? But we see them protecting. That's Kevin Stefanski's pick versus the GM's pick, which is Shador. You know what I mean? So they didn't want Shador. They're like, oh, we don't want this guy. But you know, the GM convinced them. I thought it was the owner. But when I look at it, that was the GM's pick. He got Shador over there. He got him that opportunity. But Stefanski don't want him. He doesn't want Dion. He doesn't want Coach Prime over his shoulder talking about this. He wants a guy who he wants. But you're not like you're not a great quarterback developer. Who have you developed? What have you done? Period. And you keep on talking about how cerebral this kid is. If he's so smart, why did he throw a pick 6 right here between these 2 players? If he saw him, this is not me knocking. All I saw from him was quick out routes, slants, little routes like that.
I agree.
Throw the ball, put the ball in the air. He was afraid to do it. They took him right out after the second quarter for a reason. You know what I mean? They saw him decline. After he threw the interception, he declined. He was 9 for 11 starting the game. 9 for 11. You end up 13 for 18 at the end of the game. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, just to bring the point home, I believe that they told him, hey, you don't worry about him being an entertainer. You're a competitor out there on that field. Dan Lanning probably said the same exact thing. I bet you Stefanski speaks to Dan Lanning. I bet you they kind of both have the same kind of personality when you look at them. Maybe not, maybe Lanning's a little more hype. You know what I mean? But they both have the same kind of personality. He probably telling him Dylan Gabriel is this guy. But me personally, he's been outplayed. He played well in his first game, but I don't think he played well enough for me to look at it as like you're an NFL ready quarterback at this point in time. And I think he made that comment. It was a pre-planned comment, man. You don't make that after you threw a pick 6. You don't make that after you just fumbled the football. I mean, on a handoff. You don't say, "Oh, I'm this versus that." You just say, "You would keep it more humble," but he didn't. He came out ready to say that. This if he thought he did decent at all, and he thought he did decent, but in reality, in my personal opinion, he didn't play that great. He gave up 2 turnovers. He didn't score. You know what I mean? But that's just my whole thing. I think the Cleveland Browns organization are riding with him more. They've shown it. He's still third. He's still third on the depth chart, which he should be, because he's the quarterback who they wanted versus the other guy who they just picked up. I think they'll end up getting rid of Kenny Pickett. What they should do is get rid of Shador Sanders, in my personal opinion.
Colts, call him. That's it. Just call. One call. That's all you got to do.
But with that, you guys, we'll go ahead and with that, you guys, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, man. This has been another edition of Plays and Parlays. We appreciate you guys for joining us. I'm your host, Wesley. This is the Guru LT, Man, and Mike Pease. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.